September 27, 1985. A supermarket in Aalst, Belgium. 8 people are dead. The youngest is just 9 years old. The killers took barely $5,000. But here's the truly horrifying part. This was just one attack in a 3-year killing spree that left 28 people dead across Belgium. And despite one of the largest manhunts in European history, despite DNA evidence, despite witnesses, despite everything, the killers were never caught. Some believe they were protected. Others think they were part of something much bigger, much darker than anyone wants to admit. This is the story of the Brabant Killers, and I need to warn you. What you're about to hear will change how you think about safety, about trust, and about who's really in control. Let me take you back to 1982. Belgium was peaceful, safe, the kind of place where people didn't lock their doors, where parents let their kids walk to school alone, where doing your grocery shopping on a Friday night was just normal. That was about to change forever. March 11th, 1982. A weapons shop in the Uccle district of Brussels. 2 armed men walk in. They're not there to buy anything. They pull out guns and demand access to the weapons storage. The shop owner resists. He's shot. Not fatally, but the message is clear. These aren't amateurs. They take high-quality firearms and disappear. At the time, police treated it like a standard armed robbery. Concerning, yes, but not unusual. Belgium had crime like any other country. This seemed like criminals getting weapons for future jobs. They had no idea what was coming. For over a year, nothing happened, or at least nothing connected. Then the attack started, and they were unlike anything Belgium had ever seen. December 1982. A taxi driver is attacked and robbed on the outskirts of Brussels. The robbers use extreme violence, even though the victim cooperates. He's badly beaten. The amount stolen? Barely worth the risk. January 1983. A supermarket in Wavre. This time it's different. 2 people are killed, shot without warning, without reason. The robbers are organized, military precise. They know exactly what they're doing. In and out in under 3 minutes. Witnesses describe 3 men, all wearing disguises, but not ski masks. These are high-quality theatrical disguises. Wigs, fake mustaches, makeup, professional level. One man stands out, tall, over 6 feet, calm, giving orders. Witnesses will later call him the Giant. Another is medium-built, extremely aggressive. He seems to enjoy the violence. He'll shoot even when people are cooperating. He'll become known as the Killer. The third is younger, nervous, possibly still a teenager, the Gangster. February 1983. Another supermarket, another death. Same pattern. Professional execution, minimal money taken, excessive violence. Belgian police start to notice the pattern. Same methods, same descriptions, same type of weapons. This isn't random crime. This is a gang, an organized, trained, ruthless gang. They form a special task force, start gathering evidence, interview witnesses. The descriptions are consistent. The Giant, the Killer, the Gangster. Sometimes a 4th member appears, sometimes 5. But those 3 core members keep showing up. Police start calling them the Nival Gang after one of the towns they hit. Later, they'll be known as the Brabant Killers. And the attacks keep coming. September 1983, a restaurant near Temse. 1 person killed, several wounded. The gang escapes in a stolen car that's later found abandoned, wiped clean. October 1983, a gun shop in Brussels. They're getting more weapons, more ammunition, building an arsenal. The Belgian public is starting to panic. This isn't normal crime. These aren't desperate people stealing food. This is something else, something calculated, something terrifying. But the worst is yet to come. November 1983, a supermarket in Hall. 1 dead, several wounded. The violence is escalating. The killer in particular seems to be getting bolder, more reckless, more brutal. Then there's a pause. Almost a year passes. No attacks. Police hope they've fled the country or been arrested for something else, or maybe they're dead. The public starts to relax. Maybe it's over. It's not over. September 1985. They come back, and they're worse than before. The gang hits multiple locations in quick succession. A weapons depot, a supermarket. Each time, more violence, more deaths. It's like they're building up to something. And then comes September 27th, 1985, the Delhi supermarket in Aalst. It's a Friday evening around 8 p.m. The store is busy, families doing their weekly shopping, kids running around, couples picking out dinner. Normal life. 3 men enter through the main doors. They're armed with pump-action shotguns, revolvers, possibly even military-grade automatic weapons. They don't announce a robbery. They don't make demands. They don't tell people to get down. They just start shooting. A father shopping with his 2 young daughters, shot dead instantly. His daughters watch him die. A woman near the bread aisle, shot in the back as she tries to run. An elderly man, executed at point-blank range. And then the most horrific moment. A 9-year-old girl standing near the checkout. She's frozen in fear. The killer walks up to her, points his weapon at her head, and pulls the trigger. Multiple witnesses will later say he was smiling. Some say he was laughing. The shooting continues, not just inside the store, outside in the parking lot. They shoot at people in their cars, people running away, people who have nothing to do with the store who just happen to be nearby. 2 minutes of pure carnage, 8 people dead, multiple wounded. Some of the survivors will be traumatized for life. The amount stolen? About $5,000. For that, 8 people died, including a child. Belgium is in complete shock. This isn't robbery. This isn't even terrorism in the traditional sense. There's no political message, no demands, no manifesto. Just violence for the sake of violence. The media goes into overdrive. The Brabant Killers are front-page news across Europe. The Belgian government promises swift justice. The police task force grows to over 200 officers working full-time on the case. They have evidence, shell casings, fingerprints, witness descriptions, escape vehicles, security footage. They have everything they need. So why were the killers never caught? This is where the story stops being about crime and starts being about conspiracy. The evidence points to something disturbing. These aren't ordinary criminals. The level of training, the weapons, the precision, the ability to evade capture. This is professional, military professional. Some witnesses say that gang members moved like soldiers, formation tactics, cover and fire patterns, professional weapon handling. And the weapons themselves, not street guns, not hunting rifles. These are high-grade firearms, some possibly military issue. Where does a criminal gang get weapons like that in 1980s Belgium? Investigators start looking at connections to the military and police, and they find things that make them uncomfortable. Several witnesses report seeing police or security vehicles near attack sites before they happened, sometimes just minutes before. Escape routes seem planned around police response times, like the gang knows exactly when and where police will be. Evidence starts disappearing from storage. Files go missing. Witnesses are pressured to change their statements. And then the theories start. Theory 1. The Brabant Killers were part of a far-right extremist group within the Belgian security services. The attacks were meant to create chaos, panic, fear, to make the public demand stronger police powers, more surveillance, more control. It's called a strategy of tension. Create the problem, then offer yourself as the solution. This sounds like paranoid conspiracy thinking, except there's evidence. In the 1980s, several European countries had secret far-right networks within their militaries and police forces. Italy had Operation Gladio, a NATO stay-behind network that got involved in domestic terrorism. Belgium was part of the same network. These groups believed democracy was too weak to fight communism. They thought controlled chaos would strengthen the state, make people willing to give up freedoms for security. Could the Brabant Killers have been part of this? Were they assets who went rogue? Or were they still under control, carrying out a planned operation? Theory 2. Police corruption. Not political, just criminal. Some investigators believe members of law enforcement were directly involved in the attacks. This would explain everything: how the gang always escaped, how they knew police movements, why evidence disappeared, why witnesses were intimidated. In 1988, police identify a suspect, Patrick Hamers, a notorious Belgian criminal. He fits the profile, he has the skills, he has the connections. But he has alibis for several attacks, and something doesn't add up. Hamers is a criminal, yes, but he's motivated by money. The Brabant Killers barely stole anything. The violence was the point, not the profit. Hamers dies in prison in 1993. Official cause, suicide. But people close to the case wonder if he knew too much. Theory 3. The gang was simply a group of psychopaths who happened to have military training. No conspiracy, no hidden agenda, just evil. But this doesn't explain the precision, the planning, the sudden stop in attacks after November 9th, 1985. Because here's another strange thing. After November 9th, 1985, the Brabant Killers never struck again. They just stopped. Why? Did they flee the country? Were they arrested for unrelated crimes? Did someone in power shut down the operation? Nobody knows. The years pass. The case goes cold. Families of victims demand answers. They hold memorials. They pressure politicians. But nothing happens. Until 2017. New technology, new DNA analysis methods. The case is reopened. Investigators focus on a former member of the Belgian gendarmerie. His name is Christian Bonkowski. He fits the description of the giant. He had access to military weapons. He had the training. He knew police procedures. And his DNA allegedly matches evidence from the crime scenes. But there's a problem. Bonkowski died in 2015. He can never be questioned, never put on trial, never forced to reveal if he had accomplices. Some investigators believe he was the giant. Others think he's a scapegoat, a convenient dead man who can't defend himself. The case remains officially unsolved. So, what really happened? Let me walk you through what we know for certain. Between 1982 and 1985, a highly organized gang carried out at least 16 attacks in Belgium. 28 people were killed, many more wounded. The violence was extreme, often excessive. The financial gain was minimal. The gang had military training. They had access to high-quality weapons. They evaded one of the largest police operations in Belgian history. Then they stopped completely. No arrests, no mistakes, just silence. The Belgian government has never fully explained what happened. Files remain classified. Witnesses who tried to speak out faced intimidation. Investigators who dug too deep were reassigned. Today, Belgium has memorials for the victims. There are plaques at the attack sites. Anniversaries are marked with ceremonies. But there's never been justice, never been a trial, never been closure. The families of the victims still wait for answers. Some have died waiting. Their children continue the fight. And Belgium itself changed. That innocence, that feeling of safety, gone forever. The Brabant Killers taught an entire nation that violence can come from anywhere, that the people meant to protect you might be the ones to fear. Some countries have boogeymen, serial killers whose names everyone knows. Belgium has the Brabant Killers, faceless, unknown, unstoppable. Were they criminals, terrorists, government assets, psychopaths, all of the above? The truth probably died with Bonkowski, or it's buried in classified files in Brussels, or it's hidden in the memories of aging men who will never speak. What we're left with is the horror, the senselessness. 8 people dead in a supermarket for $5,000. A 9-year-old girl executed by someone who smiled while doing it. And the knowledge that somewhere, someone knows exactly what happened. Someone knows who the killer was, who the gangster was, who gave the orders, who provided the weapons, who covered it up. They know, and they've chosen silence. The Brabant Killers were never caught, and 40 years later, Belgium still lives with that failure, still wonders, still fears. Because if it happened once, it could happen again, and next time, you might be the one doing your shopping on a Friday night. If you have any information about the Brabant Killers, Belgian police still maintain an active tip line. The case may be cold, but it's never been closed. Justice delayed is justice denied, but it's never too late for truth.